Mike Owens with Inside Fighting, joined today by Youssef Zalal. We've been trying to set this up all week and we finally got it done. Youssef, how are things? Good to see you, man.
No, man, good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Finally, we got the time.
How's Vegas treated you so far?
Pretty good, but busy.
Yeah.
Super busy, and it's wild. It's definitely wild.
That's the consequences of having the run that you've had. No, it's true though, isn't it? It's true, you know. You don't win those fights, did the UFC bring you out to you, you know?
True. I mean, last year, I kind of I did the International Fight Week, and I definitely can see the difference 100%.
Yeah.
Like from obviously one fight back in to now 4 fights. So it's definitely a blessing and a grateful opportunity as well.
It felt like, you know, one of the success stories or one of the feel-good stories of 2024 was your resurgence, and obviously coming off that last win against Calvin Kattar back in February. What were the changes that you made in order to go on that run and this second kind of winning streak in the UFC?
I said this so many times. It's the reason. It's my reason why I do this, because I feel like at such a young age, I signed with the UFC at 23, and I think I was like the 6th youngest fighter on the roster or something like that. So for me, I was just unexperienced, and I was talented, right? I was super talented. Did what I needed to do to like survive in the UFC. It was not really to perform in the UFC. So that was kind of like my things, and like really sat back and reflect a lot, you know, and look at the past of my fights and like, what am I doing? Am I doing this right? I'm doing that and things like that. But deep down, just I come up to what my reason is and why do I do this? And that's what makes me wake up every morning, and that's like what kind of helped me. And that was that, like, okay, I'm on it.
If you had your time again, would you have signed for the UFC at 23, or would you have, you know, tried to get more experience under your belt? How do you kind of reflect on that early part of your career?
I would say I would sign. That's fine, because I would have if I had the mentality that I have now, I would actually thrive a lot more too. But I'll probably be at 35, not 45.
Yeah, true. So what's the timeline for your return, and who do you think makes sense for the realistic opponent next?
Bro, this whole division got held up by, I think I never knew I thought you get to the rankings, it makes it easier, right? You're like, okay, like now this number is fine, this number is fine, this number. So I was like, okay, but it's been like 6 months since I fought. So I'm like, I want to stay active. I fought 4 fights in 11 months coming back to the UFC, and I was like, I want to stay active, but the only guys that don't have a fight is the champ, Yair, I think Laurent Murphy and Arnold, they said they're going to fight each other.
So
that's going to be interesting,
that's
by
a
the way.
fight.
If you're a UK
Great
fan,
oh
UK my
fans.
God. Like, that's because Arnold, man, he's good. And then obviously Laurent Murphy's undefeated. So the only guy I see is Josh Emmett, man. That's the only guy that doesn't have a fight. He's coming out of a loss. He lost to Laurent Murphy. So I'm like, that's a great opportunity, and that's a great name to go beat and then keep climbing up. So hopefully that happens, and hopefully I can get back in September, but you never know, you know?
Yeah. A lot of fighters say to me when they get into the top 15, things become a lot more strategic in terms of matchmaking, because the guy in front of them doesn't want to fight down, but then the guy in front of him doesn't want to fight down. It becomes one of those weird things where something's got to give. Somebody's got to fight below. Now, obviously, you're on this winning streak. You would like to presume that you get a fight up these rankings next.
Well, I think it makes it like a little bit, like you said, like sometimes a little difficult for you on a win-win.
Yeah.
But if you're on a loss, you have no choice. Of
course.
So, you know what I mean? Unless you were the #1 contender, sure, you might fight the top 5. But it's like you lost. You know, it's like you're not on a winning streak right now. So you can fight whoever below you in a sense. You know what I mean? So that was kind of like the thing. Especially like some guys were holding up the division on top 7, top 5. It was like, now they just got the Brian Ortega versus Aljamain, so that was like pretty. I think that's gonna be a good fight. I'm interested to see that. I don't know about Ortega. Ortega's finally coming out of his house. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, we'll see.
What do you make of the rumours or the likelihood that Yair Rodriguez is next for the world title fight against Volkanovski?
I can't be mad at that, because if they came up to me and offered me that fight and I was 3-3 in my last 6 fights, I'm gonna take the fight. I'm gonna take the fight. So politic-wise, I look at it, it's like, it is what it is, you know? It's like, I can't be mad at that. So for me, I understand it, but I don't think it's right. I think Mozart should have got the title shot and he should fight next, but he's fighting a guy that's coming out of, not in the UFC, he's a debut. He has everything to lose. That guy has nothing to lose. Or literally just wins, he fights for the belt. You know what I mean? So And yeah, that's kind of a little sketchy, but this is the game we in. It's a politics game, and hey, you better be the one who's showing off to climb up.
100%. One point I wanted to bring you to before we finish is the main man, Ilia Topuria, who obviously fights tonight. So I can't get a prediction off you for the fight against Charles Oliveira because the fight will probably have already passed by the time this interview goes out. The question I want to ask you is, when you fought Ilia in the time that you spent with him in the cage, did you expect or anticipate he would go on the run that he has? From your experience with him, did you expect him to do what he's done?
I think after my fight and I watched his second fight, I was like, yeah, he's gonna be on a run for sure. So it kind of like he has that aura a little bit. You can like feel it in there too as well. But he's definitely like, you can tell like he doesn't care. Like all he has is like the goals that he's like set and stuff like that. It's actually inspiring. A lot of people be hating on that. You know what I mean? I feel like the guy done everything that's you can do in this sport. Literally everything you can do and is as clean as possible, you know what I mean? So for me, that's inspiring. But yeah, I can definitely see it. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm like I didn't see it gonna be that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you knock out Max Holloway, you broke my heart on that one. But it's like you to knock Max Holloway out, Volk, and all to do the things that you've done. It's crazy. So yeah, I definitely like there's a little surprise, but not so much though.
People forget as well, your fight was 29-28. You know, like when you look at the run that he's went on, one of the more competitive fights that he's had.
See, that's what I tell people. That was the younger Yousef. That was a short notice fight. I never watched a fight about him when I took the fight because I landed in Abu Dhabi and they told me, hey, we have a new opponent for you. I was like, cool, whatever, whoever 8-0 or 7-0, all finishes, never seen the third round. I just said, sure, sign the contract. I'm here. I can't not go back. So I was like, cool, sign it. Never watched him, did it. And my weight, I'm finally as a featherweight. Like right back then, I was weighted in at fight day 153, 154 against him.
Wow.
Now I'm like, I go into fight night like 168, 170, no problem. So that's what I'm saying. So it's like, it's kind of like I had to learn a lot, and my body had to learn a lot. So definitely. That was the old Yousef, but yeah, I mean, I know what I'm capable of. I know what I can bring to the table. So it's definitely, I can't wait to see the future holds. Maybe a rematch, but that's the guy. When I got kicked out of the UFC, that was my motivator to get back to the UFC.
I love it. Yousef, thanks for your time. We'll see you back in action soon.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.